Hello everybody, and welcome to a very special video here at the David and Mercy Whipple channel. This video that we're showing you today is all for our 4-year wedding anniversary. Yay, we made it to 4 years, me and Mercy being married. And this video is going to be our little rundown of how it all started, a little, what happened with an American meeting a Filipino and how we did it and how we came together and what worked to get us married to this point. So, like some people like to say, every love story is beautiful, but ours is my favorite. Alright. You realize that the year 2016 was 4 years ago, and it was considered the International Year of the Pulses? Well, looking back 30 years from then, and we get 1986, which was designated the International Year of Peace. Well, August 29th, Lea Michele, one of the singers on Glee, was born, and that would have been 1986. And on the 30th of August, 1986, the movie with Sean Penn and Madonna called Shanghai Surprise was released. I'm surprised if you remember that one. Well, don't you forget about me. August of 1986, we had Stevie Winwood with Higher Love. And then August 2016, when I got married, the #1 song was by an artist named Sia and Sean Paul with Cheap Thrills. Okay, so first part, we're going to go with introductions in our story of David and Mercy. And we're going to start with the first picture you're going to see. Presents me. I'm David, the David part of Mercy, David and Mercy Whipple. So I grew up in the state of Illinois, the land of Lincoln. I lived in DeKalb, Illinois. See, I still have this, even though it doesn't fit me too well anymore. My Letterman jacket. So I was a wrestler in high school. Then I went to school at Illinois State University and got a bachelor's degree in mass communications, wanted to be radio and TV broadcaster. But then eventually got married, moved away from Illinois, joined the Army, and then went to a bunch of different places, got divorced, went to another place, got married again, and then ended up in Fort Hood, Texas, and that's the last place I lived before the place I was at when I met Mercy. And August of 1986, we have Madonna with True Blue. And then August 2016, because that's when I got married to Mercy, I have the Suicide Squad, the album. That's my rundown. Next up, Mercy's going to tell a little bit of her life up until she met me.
My name is Mercy Whipple. From Philippines, mabuhay! My name is Mercy Whipple from Philippines. This is me when I was 5. In my high school days. When I'm in Dubai.
When did you move to Dubai?
I think 2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, and so that's where you were right before we met, huh? Okay. And 1986 brought us Top Gun, Crocodile Dundee, and Pretty in Pink. And 2016, Captain America Civil War, the Rogue One Star Wars story, and Finding Dory. So here's a little side story. Went to Afghanistan, got divorced, and then I was free again, and then I came, and while I was there though, I met another Filipino online. That's when I became interested in, became attracted to Filipinas, but that didn't work out. But I came back to the United States, and then I got sent to South Korea, and I was happy because I was closer to the Philippines, but then it just so happened that while I was in South Korea, I met this one Filipina online, and it ended up being Mercy. And one day I was sitting in my barracks room, and I was online, and I don't know, I was on Facebook, and somebody posted something that was like really nice about mothers. He said something really nice. I liked what she said, and then, you know, I decided, wow, she seems like a nice person, and so I sent her a friend request.
It was when I opened my Facebook and I saw a couple of friend requests. Then 2012. Here, this is the proof. This is the proof. This one that David Whipple wants to be friend with you and on Facebook. Confirm request, and then I press the confirm. Our love story.
In August 2013, I moved back to America from South Korea, and the place I moved to was in Kentucky, and I was stationed at Fort Knox, Kentucky.
When David is in Kentucky, I was still in Dubai.
This picture we have here, this shows that from Kentucky, my unit that I was in, we ended up in Kuwait. And you know, the neat thing about me being in Kuwait is Mercy was in Dubai, so we were so close to each other, but yet while we were there, still didn't get to meet her. That would have been later.
This is me in Dubai, Miracle Garden. How's my house in Dubai?
So after I did my time in Kuwait, came back to America, was at Fort Knox, Kentucky, and me and Mercy were ready to meet each other. I had a family vacation where we took a cruise. Me and my family went on a cruise, and we went to the Bahamas and Cozumel, Mexico, and Jamaica. And after that cruise, me and Mercy were planning to finally meet.
I'm traveling going to Paris at that time. Me and David were already planning to meet in the Philippines.
I've been to the Philippines before. I actually have friends in the Philippines and from the Philippines. But this time it was going to be extra special because I was finally getting a chance to meet Mercy. So like you can see from the Philippines, yeah, you know, most people do believe it's more fun in the Philippines. All right, so here we are. We met at the Manila airport. I got off the plane, kind of looked like that, and I looked around. I was wondering where she was going to meet me, and then I finally saw her. It was March of 2015. I met Mercy at the Manila airport in the Philippines.
Finally, I met David the first time on March 12th, 2015.
Where were you when you met me?
I was outside in the airport. The security, he let me greet inside.
Okay, and how did you feel when you first saw me?
I felt like, oh, this is it.
We met at the airport. She was so happy, I was so happy. And where we went to, we first went to our hotel We stayed at the, I had a friend from high school who was staying there at the same time, meeting another couple friends of his, and we stayed at the Citadel Inn in Makati. So that's what you see right there. That's kind of like what it looks like from the front. Here's a view that you're gonna see from, high up in the Citadel. That's, Makati right there. And then as soon as we dropped off our bags, we were hungry. And we went to go eat right across the street at this place right here. A place called the Filling Station.
To the hotel, Frank does what is the best restaurant close in the hotel, and then they recommend us the Filling Station restaurant.
After we saw our first picture ever together, here we are at that same restaurant, our first night together in the Philippines, and a couple pictures, and there's me and Mercy together, sitting at the table. I think that was the next day. We ate there again with our friend that I told you about. Yay, Dave. And then Mercy's going to tell you a little bit about this.
And then we eat dinner, and then while we're waiting our orders, and then we're taking pictures, and you kneel down and bought me this ring, and you told me this ring is not expensive, but my intention is to you is pure. So I give you this promise ring.
Sure, this represents our first day and second night, and actually the morning of our third day in the Philippines. Here's our view from our hotel balcony in Makati. And then there's us getting dressed up to go out. There's us coming back. And then the next morning we were getting in a vehicle to go drive up to Olongapo.
The second day in the hotel, almost ready to travel, going to Olongapo City.
Day 3 in the Philippines, me and Mercy, we took a ride up to Olongapo and went to Subic Bay. Here we are at our hotel that we stayed at. Here we are seeing some of the attractions there, and there we are for another meal. That would have been our third night in the Philippines together. There's our meal at our hotel.
View of the hotel in the Subic Bay. The first dinner in Olongapo City.
We also went shopping at the Subic Bay Mall and met some of my friends that I knew in South Korea. And they invited us over, and we that night they even gave us a special cake, and hung out and listened to the band, and I got to even sing with them. And there we are, there's me and Mercy and some of my friends and their family in Olongapo City. You still got the sandals that I bought you way back then in 2015?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
I'm still using it.
Fifth day together in the Philippines. We got on it, went back to Manila, and then we took a plane all the way down to Mercy's home place of Cagayan de Oro. And the first place that she took me to, the very special place for her, was a place called the Chapel by the Sea. I know it's got another Philippine name, but that's what I call it, the Chapel by the Sea. And so we went there, she did some praying, I touched the magic waters.
This is our first stop when we were in my place, Cagayan de Oro City, and this chapel is memorable for me because this is the place of my dad. And when I was 12 years old, this chapel, there is a miracle, something happened before. Is when I was a kid, there is no chapel yet, and there is a water that flowing there, and we went when I was young, and then we went there in front of the sea, and there is a water, and then they said there is a miracle happen, and there is the Mama Mary was there. When we visit that place, in my father's place, we bring the candle and we pray in that place because they said that it's a miracle place.
So after the Chapel by the Sea, the next place we went to, it was the Chapel of the Divine Mercy. That's it right there, Chapel of the Divine Mercy. You got Jesus up there showing mercy to everybody, and then we took some pictures in front of it, and that was another very special thing that was really cool to see in Cagayan de Oro.
Oh, this is a Divine Mercy. El Salvador, Misamis Oriental. This is our second stop. It's a nice place. And look, when we went there is no there is no light. And then when we took a picture, the light was turned on.
And then we went to Mercy's home. She took me to her home, got to meet her family in Cagayan de Oro. That's her neighborhood there. We're on the street. We went to the Centrio Mall, and we got to go see this statue here in town. And then after that night, we also met with family and ate. And the next day, I think at the very end of the day, after going to the mall and eating and shopping and stuff like that, we went swimming at the local swimming pool and posted pictures and had a really good time. This ended on the 6th day of us being together.
This is my hometown. This is in front of our house, and the kids in Centrio Mall, and we're in the park in the Cagayan de Oro. Yeah.
Okay.
Spending time with the kids.
Flew up to Manila, took a horse carriage ride around the city. We even stopped by the embassy, but we couldn't get in at the time. It was closed off unless you had an appointment. But then we met with a friend of mine that I knew in South Korea who was back in the Philippines, and we went to the Hobbit House, which is where all the little people that are shorter than us, they own the place, and it was really cool to hang out there. And then that was our 7th day, and then we had to get on an airplane and get ready to say goodbye to each other until hopefully sometime in the future. So that was our last time seeing each other back in 2015.
In Manila, we went to the embassy. We tried to get the paperwork, and then we cannot get inside because we don't have an appointment. The night time, we went to the restaurant, spent time with the friends, and that's it.
Okay, and then we had to say goodbye, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the next day.
Yeah. So after our trip to the Philippines, I went back to Kentucky, USA. You can see from those two pictures. Mercy went back to Dubai, and that was at the beginning of 2015. And then after that, we started the paperwork. We decided we actually did want to get together, so we started the paperwork for the 90-day fiance. So I had to go online and fill all that stuff out, and then I had to send a check. Yeah, I was supposed to send a check of $340. Mercy she knew some lawyers there in Dubai, so we decided to give these lawyers money to take care of all the paperwork for us. At the end of 2015, I moved to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and the paperwork still wasn't finished, and she hadn't been approved yet, and so she was still in Dubai and still waiting.
I don't want to recommend to use lawyer of applying T1 visa. You can do it by yourself, because if you're hiring the lawyer, it's like if you don't want to if you will not follow up the paperwork, they will not do it. You have to wait until they will tell you, okay, tomorrow, and it's like it's disaster.
We were still waiting on it. You know, she still had to go through her things, the doctor's appointments and everything she had to go through. Lawyers hadn't finished what they had. But eventually she was approved. It took a long time. I was in Fort Bragg, and then there we are, July 2016. So over a year it took for us to finally get all the paperwork correct, and for her to be able to get approved and get on a plane and come to America. And she finally did, July 23rd. And you saw the 4 years since she has been in America video. But that's what that was all about. At the time, she was in Morocco with her boss, and they put her on a plane to come to America. She stopped in New York, and then the next day she came to North Carolina, and I got to introduce her to my world. We finally got Mercy to America, and here we are, airport in North Carolina. This is our very first picture taken at the airport when we were finally together, and here we are in a picture of us in North Carolina. There's Mercy's head with the O, there's my head in the O.
Greetings from North Carolina.
Our first weekend together, there we are, brother. I lived at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We got there. There's the street where we lived on. Took her to the chapel that I sang at, Chapel Next. She finally got to go to church service with me there. There she is shopping for the first time. So finally took her grocery shopping for the very first time. And here we are that weekend also. A friend of mine that I knew in Germany who lives in North Carolina now. She owns a beauty place now, and she had a pampering day. This set of pictures is a picture that represents firsts for Mercy in America. Mercy got to watch Star Wars for the very first time. Mercy had Dairy Queen for the very first time. We went to her first Hard Rock Cafe, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Mercy had her first Krispy Kreme in America, Krispy Kreme donuts. Mercy had her first Taco Bell in America. Mercy went to her first painting class with me in America. Took her Mercy to Cracker Barrel. And Mercy and I played racquetball. A whole bunch of new stuff for her. So that came the big day I had planned. The big moment where I got down on my knees, proposed to Mercy. Went all the way out to the Outer Banks of North Carolina from Fayetteville and stayed that 2 nights at the Elizabeth Inn. And as you can see, we went to the Elizabethan Gardens. And it was there that I actually had it planned out where in advance I talked to a photographer to actually be there pretending like she wasn't taking pictures of us, but actually taking pictures of us as we were going through this. And then she even took a video and I even got down on my knees. As you can see, where am I? Yeah. There I am posing down on my knees. She said yes.
So surprising because I thought that because we're all married, our wedding is already planned, but he still surprised me in Elizabethtown, North Carolina, and then he proposed me, and I say yes.
But before we could get married, there's one more thing that I thought was important to do. So back in 2015, when we met in the Philippines, I got to meet members of her family, her kids, and other relatives. But before we got married, I took her up to Illinois, where my family is from. She got to meet most of my family except for my mom, who lives out in California. So got to go through Chicago for a day. Went to my hometown, DeKalb, Illinois, where they had Corn Fest, so she got to experience DeKalb's Corn Fest. My dad and mom, Linda, Ollie's Frozen Custard in Sycamore, Illinois. So if you've ever been around DeKalb and Sycamore, you definitely know Ollie's. She even got to meet some of my cousins Samantha and Maggie and Brian and their kids when we were at Corn Fest. And then after that, we went up to Rockford, Illinois. She got to meet my brother or sister, Stephen and Stephanie. We got to see some beautiful flowers. And that weekend that we were there, I even took her to my old college at Illinois State University and took her to one of my favorite restaurants called Avanti's because they have the most awesome bread, so I knew she had to experience that. And if you can see this picture right here, we also went to this nature place right around that area in Illinois. And if you can, what you'll see in the picture, there's a thing called Lover's Leap. And after meeting my family and all that, and everything went well, I think we were ready to make that Lover's Leap. Yes, tomorrow my wife and I celebrate our 4-year wedding anniversary. We got married August 30th, 2016 in Fayetteville, North Carolina. The next year we moved to San Antonio and spent our first anniversary eating dinner at the top of the Tower of the Americas. Our second anniversary, we tested our relationship by trying to conquer together an escape room in New Braunfels. And last year, we had a special dinner with friends at a Chinese buffet Mercy really liked in San Antonio. And hope we don't let COVID keep us from doing something special this year. Okay, and then came the day of our wedding, which we had at the we planned at the Rose Garden in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and that was a very nice day. And we met a minister who performed the service, and I invited friends from my Army unit and some local friends that I had known before, and I think it went pretty well, don't you think? All right. Yay!
Yay!
4 years ago we did it! August 30th, 2016.
4 years no fighting.
We said I do. And here's some of the proof. And hope you like this wedding anniversary video, because that's how it works. That was our love life.
Love story.
It's time to celebrate. Yeah. Okay, so here's the picture from after the ceremony when we met at a German restaurant, which we like. Here we are celebrating.
That is our
You can see us with the cake, you know, doing regular cake stuff and then putting it on our faces. And then cheers. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for supporting the David and Mercy Whipple channel. Hope you like our story, and let's keep this thing going. Love is important. Even Rick Springfield warned us that you better love somebody. It's late, you better love somebody. Don't wait, you better love somebody. Don't tempt fate, you're gonna push it just a little too far one night. Before I play the next song, just want to prepare you. My wedding anniversary is tomorrow. Yeah, 4 years with my wife Mercy.